call them, that we have now built this country, gone to the moon, made ships that go into the ocean, basically came out of the cave and made steel. And now they're just going to take it apart and I suppose just distribute the spoils. And America just gets absorbed into this global Borg of surveillance, control, taxation, and basically slavery.
Well, it actually has a name. There's a legitimate name to this. I know we call it the New World Order. Even Bush Sr. had the audacity to use the terminology
100 and something times.
Yeah, no, that was Iraq War I. So, but it's a valid euphemism, but its actual system is referred to as an acephalous organ, meaning a headless organ. And all these different institutions that were quietly being created, from Bretton Woods to the World Bank to NATO, and ultimately there will be a global central Federal Reserve Bank. This is all mapped out. It's all plain as day. You can buy volumes and volumes of academic literature on the subject. It's discussed relentlessly in academia. But if you or I say it in the public sphere, we're labeled conspiracy theorists, crackpots, right-wingers, communists, fascists.
Oh, absolutely.
Jews. I don't know. You'll be called everything in the book sooner or later. I have.
Me too. Everything. I kind of like it. It means I'm getting somebody's attention when they start hurling slurs and names at me. I like it. Probably one of the few. Well,
but it is a viable argument. We are being absorbed into a geopolitical, global economic system that has no relationship or obedience to nation-state sovereignty. That's just the facts of the matter, and it cannot be any longer disputed. But what will happen here in America? Everybody says they're killing the golden goose. No, they're not. It depends on who you're talking about.
Right.
Who are we talking about when we say they are destroying this nation? No, they're not. They're making their world. They couldn't be happier. The new Wild West is China, Asia, the Middle East. Those people don't have cars and refrigerators.
But soon they will.
That's where all the money's going. That's why they're not. After $29 trillion has been doled out to the largest, wealthiest banks, American banks, since world history, more wealth is accumulated than Solomon, for heaven's sakes, and yet not a dime is being loaned back to the American people. Well, there's a reason.
Yes.
This doesn't happen in a vacuum. Nothing happens in government by accident. Nothing. FDR said that, not just Craig Hulet.
How long can this be sustained, Craig?
Forever.
Oh, Lord, I was afraid you were going to... Okay, let me fire another one out. Here comes the shotgun out the back door deal. Why are we dealing with the... We have a new stealth ship now. It's probably been around for a while because we're just now seeing it. That's supposedly able to operate better than big boats in littoral conflicts, meaning shallow water conflicts. And the Chinese are going, no, we could just swarm it with a bunch of little boats and blow it up. Sooner or later, it'd be a goner. It's like, why are we doing so much business with these people in between saber-rattling sessions with each other? I don't understand this love-hate relationship with them. Everything is being built over there. I mean, did these guys build a gigantic underground base and just go, we're going to be friends or we launch on you. We don't care if we lose 1 billion people. You lose everything. You lose everything.
Well, there's a very simple and mundane answer to this.
Okay.
And Tony Sutton is my mentor. Tony and I became very fast friends many, many decades ago. Tony's no longer with us, but he wrote a 3-volume work that netted him 2 Ph.D.s called Western Technology and Soviet Economic Development. Let me say that again. Western Technology and Soviet Economic Development.
Wow.
And he proved in the 3 volumes, each volume probably 400 pages, all of it was technical study, extremely technical. But he proved without question that Western technology built the Soviet Union from the ground up. The largest Ford Motor plant was built in 1926 in Russia by Ford Motor.
Wow.
And we have never not done business with the Soviet Union when it was at the height of the Cold War. In fact, Tony and I assembled a document proving that our shuttle was an exact duplicate of the Russian shuttle.
I thought it was the other way around.
Bolt by bolt. Nuts and bolts. Exact idea. In other words, they can be swapped out in space.
Well, it's
for the other.
Do you know it's true? A bunch of us bought a bunch of these old Russian jets off the Bulgarian flight line several years ago, and I'm looking at this, I'm going, this sure looks like our stuff. Exactly. And this guy said, it is our stuff. There wasn't a metric bolt on it.
And they didn't steal it.
No.
It was transferred to them openly and willingly. It's called the Trading with the Enemy Act. We did it with Hitler's Germany. We did it with the Soviets. We will do it with China because there is so much more money in the war-making end of nation-state bargaining and corporate global activities than in any other area, except, of course, banking. That's why China is now allowed to come in and buy U.S. banks here on domestic American soil. Chinese central communist state-controlled banks can now own U.S. private banks. Now, you see, this is the problem. We're talking about a multinational corporation that has no allegiance to any nation-state whatsoever.
Yep.
So an American starts a corporation, goes multinational. He has French, German, and Chinese on his board of directors. 30% of that corporation is owned by banking interests, both sides of the Atlantic and Pacific. These corporations are the ruling elite. There is no nation-state left. The nation-state is nothing but one side of a simple coin of multinational banking and corporate interest. You and I work for them, and our government works for them. There is no them and us, government and us. We are simply the serfs, and the governing bodies that rule over us are simply the merchants of death that are employed by the corporate structure to achieve whatever objectives they want in whatever country they desire, including on our own domestic soil. You and I are the enemy.
This is the most rational explanation as to what exactly is going on around here that I think I've ever heard. I don't believe.
I've been accused of that.
Well, I mean, that is the most intelligible explanation I've ever heard, and I've asked the question many times. What's going on here? It's what it boils down to. But that's it. So that doesn't go just for us. That's everybody.
No, it's everybody.
That's no England. There's no England, no China, no nothing. It's just
nothing. No,
okay.
There's just the largest multinational corporations. Many of them, if not the largest percentage, are American corporations. Of the 100 largest economies in the world, the 100 largest economies in the world, America's economy being the largest, 51 are corporations. They're not even countries. They're corporations. Walmart is larger than any other country, period, except the United States and Great Britain. I don't think anybody in America realizes that these corporations hate competition. They hate free enterprise. They want nothing to do with competition or Adam Smith or free enterprise. The progressive left is wrong. Noam Chomsky, you're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. You want to know why I know these things, why I've come to this as an analyst? Who do you think I am? I was one of those capitalist pigs. My clients, before I went public with this information, were GE, Exxon, U.S. Home, Weyerhaeuser. When I left the corporate world and went into the political world, I discovered very quickly that they're the same place, by name. Where do you think these congressmen and senators, defense secretaries and undersecretaries of state end up when they leave the government service? They end up at the multinational corporate structure doing business with China, the Soviet Union, Guatemala. The drug war is a joke. There's more money in pharmaceuticals than in drugs. Without the pharmaceuticals, there'd be no cocaine.
Oh, that's for sure.
Profit. Eli Lilly.
Oh, Craig, I'll tell you, it's something else. It's just absolutely beyond anything I've ever even imagined. But it reminds me of that old movie with James Caan in it back in the 70s called Rollerball, where they would say, "And now our corporate anthem." I suppose that's where we are now, isn't it?
Yes. I used to use the analogy of Blade Runner.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
there's no getting past it. There's no getting around it. There's no fixing it. There's no stopping it. There's no changing it. All I do now is attempt to inform those who are willing to listen.
Gotcha.
And if you're a Republican or a Democrat or a liberal or a conservative and you're fixed in your ideology, I can't help you.
Hang on. Hang on, Craig. We'll be back. This is the Alex Jones Show. We shall return. Alex Jones Show. John B. Wells sitting in with you, the Saturday night man for Coast to Coast AM. And we are just continuing to develop our relationship as we share information and release it to you. And we are presently speaking with Craig Hulet, who was on Coast last Saturday and on Alex Jones's show today. And I'll tell you, I am just about to, I don't know, I'm thinking about, I was going to say I'm thinking about going out to L.A. and just jump off the Hollywood sign, but that's not really me. Besides, I'm not suicidal, so if all of a sudden I drop off the scope, you'll know it was the New World Order, man, because I'm not doing it to myself. Hey, speaking of jumping off the Hollywood sign and vanishing otherwise, so standing around a terrorist now with all these armed drones that are going to be flying around soon, they're already flying, they're going to be more flying. Standing near a somebody labeled as a terrorist makes you a terrorist, and you may wind up getting whacked out by the drone as well, with, of course, no recourse whatsoever.
That's correct. And using a secret kill order, I love the terminology. It's not even Orwellian any longer. Obama has what are called secret kill orders, and there's even a 17-year-old girl listed on one of his kill orders, as WikiLeaks so proved. But let me close by saying something, because this is a new show I've never done before, and you and I are just getting to know each other. The reason I haven't changed the title of my book, The Hydra of Carnage, Bush's Imperial War Making, is because in about 5 years, the title will still be accurate.
Yeah.
It will be Bush's Imperial War Making still, but it'll be Jeb Bush. He will be the president 5 years from now.
You think?
Obama will get reelected, and Obama will do everything that the Bushes would wish him to do, and the individuals, call them the elite, would tell him to do. He's merely finishing up what George Bush Jr. started, which Clinton started, which Reagan, Nixon, Ford started. So, we're not really going to see a change in policy. Continuity of government is the sole purpose of the two parties. Get rid of one, throw the dogs out, put another guy in, but
Sure.
Nothing ever changes.
Right.
This is the doctrine of continuity of government, according to our own government.
Right.
Jeb Bush is slated to be the president after Obama, because Obama will be blamed for everything that the Bushes had a hand in doing, but everybody will be ready then for another Bush, and we will blindly go to the polls. The media will obediently find Jeb Bush attractive, and Jeb Bush will be the president of the United States. Craig's book, subtitle, will remain the same.
That's because you're a visionary, Craig B. Hulet. Always a pleasure to talk to you, and we will be talking again in the future. Thanks for taking some time out of the middle of the day to be with us here on the Alex Jones Show, and we'll speak to you again. You'll either speak with Alex again on the Alex Jones Show, or you can speak with me on Coast to Coast AM sometime.
Anytime.
Well, I appreciate it, Craig. Check your six, pal, and stay healthy. All right, just some information. We spoke in the first hour with Dr. Theresa Dale. Her website is naturalhealingpro.com, and you'll find products that will help you defend yourself against the effects of the radiation that is, in fact, spreading from the Fukushima's failed reactors, and there are meltdowns there. It is happening. It's not being reported, but it's happening, so take steps to protect yourself. Also, InfoWars store, InfoWars shop, they have some products to help you defend yourself. Craig B Hulet, HULET.com. You can find his books, keep up with the latest intel, and come and see me and mine on caravantomidnight.com. There's some Geiger counters, 3 different kinds. They're inexpensive, and it's one of those things where better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. It's been a delight to be in with you today, and I wish you the very best in the future. Check your six means watch your backs. Do that.